Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, anywhere you are in the world. Welcome to Business Analysis Simplified. I know this is the third week in January, guys. The days are just skipping. Oh my God. So I hope your January has been amazing. The beginning of the month, of the year, the beginning of the year 2024. My name is Ola Ofime, yours truly. So each week we bring to you a simplified version of business analysis. We take one concept, one idea, one technique, we expatiate on it, and then we draw out principles from on how people could use it, apply it to their lives, and be intentional about their lives. Use it, just use it anyhow, any shape it works for you. Hello, my dear. Good morning. I already
I thought
brought you. I already
you
brought you
became so
on camera.
close. I thought, is he trying to jump into my oh
I
my
know.
world? That's
Yeah,
so funny.
if I have a choice, I would hug you with a good morning, but time and
Yeah.
space
Mm-hmm. It's
between
okay.
us. Yeah. hmm
Good
So how are
morning,
you
my
doing?
dear. I'm doing amazing.
I said it's the third week in January already. Oh my God.
Already.
These are
Already.
speeding
Mm.
by quickly. Right.
Mm.
So,
Absolutely.
mhm. So I was, of course, helping our audience remember that we try to simplify business analysis technique on each episode. And today we are going to be looking at a technique called we call it technique, but it might sound like something that is simple that everyone should know
Mm.
about. But it's a
Mm.
technique nonetheless. It's called prioritization.
Yep.
Prioritization, priority, putting priority on things. Because generally, if all things are priority, then you are running from pillar to post, helter skelter, right?
Yeah,
You want to put things,
nothing is
nothing
important
is
then.
important then. So you have to put these things in order of importance, relative importance. I say
Mm-hmm.
relative because
I like that word.
importance is relative. What
Absolutely.
is important to you might not be important to me, and
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah, to my neighbor. So we've got to define that relative and then go in the relative importance. Okay, so the way organizations will use it, they could use it in product development, they could use it in project management,
Mm-hmm.
they could use it in strategic planning, right?
Absolutely.
So they would have a list, maybe after a brainstorming session, maybe after gathering requirements, if it's product development and all that, they would have a long list, and then they'll gather people together, key stakeholders, most of the time, and other stakeholders that are not so key, but of course want to be part of it, will come along too for the ride, right? And then they would ask, to pick each requirement. Let's say their requirements. Pick each requirement and ask, how important is this to to the business, to the customer if you're designing the software for the customer, and then they start ranking like that. And what happens is the developers will then know what to concentrate on first, because those requirements have been ranked, they've been put in relative importance, they've been
Yeah.
put in the order that would in which it would add value to the end users or to the customers. And that way, if peradventure they run out of fund before
Mm.
the end of the project, they know that they have achieved the most important part of the project, and that is not a total waste, right? And then the business will get at least enough value from the time and the resources that they have put or allocated to that product development initiative.
Absolutely.
So that's how generally organizations will use it for product development. How about you? I'm transferring it, taking it over, Kenyo. Help us talk about how it is that we could use prioritization in our everyday living.
I mean, all of you know, we actually prioritize every single day. In fact, I would say every moment. From moment to moment, we'll prioritize. We are prioritizing, right? You wake up in the morning, you have a choice whether to keep sleeping or to get up and go take a shower and
And
go to work. So at that point, you're prioritizing your work over your sleep because you know a little sleep, a little slumber. Poverty is crawling in, right? You go. That's
Yes,
what the good book says.
yes.
That's what the Bible says. A little sleep, a little slumber. Poverty would be, your next of kin.
Mm.
So you don't want that. Well, that is me paraphrasing it. You don't want that happening. So you get up, take a shower or not, but go to work. That's very
If I take a shower or not, because
I
you
hope you're taking a shower, but you go to work because at that point you're prioritizing going to work over sleeping, right? When it
mm,
comes to option of food, you've got burger, you've got fries, you've got all of these things, you've got vegetables on the other side, and
uh,
I know. You've got to decide right now, what do I want to do? Do I want to eat all of this junk food or do I want my vegetables? What is going to inform what I'm going to do is going to be based on some pre decided notions. Maybe I want to release some weight. Then I know
mm,
that eating burger is not going to help me, right? Maybe the goal is I want to reduce the sugar in my blood. Then you want to go, organic, blah blah blah. So they're just like the organization. They would have to, when you're prioritizing, there has to be some parameters, predefined parameters that they're looking at before you can decide, okay, which way do I want to go, right? So it's all around us. We do it every single day. You sit down there, you know that, okay, this year one of my goals is I want to learn a skill. You know that skill, maybe I hope you've done your due diligence. You know that if I'm going to be able to achieve this skill in 3 months, I need to dedicate 2 hours every evening. You're working, but you need 2 hours a day, Monday through Saturday, 6 days a week, for you to be able to acquire this skill. Guess what? It's going to be a matter of these 2 weeks, these 2 hours per day. Am I going to sit down in front of Netflix, be flipping my computer and looking at social media, or I'm going to get my bum on the chair and actually go learn the skill? Prioritization. If you know that not having that skill is so painful that you cannot afford not to achieve it, guess what you're going to do? Because at that point, acquiring that skill is on a higher level as opposed to watching Netflix.
mm.
So you're going to go do it. I hope you're going to go do it. So that is the point when we talk about prioritizing. And I don't know, one that comes to mind is when we're planning for stuff. You're planning to travel, you want to take a vacation with your
Mm.
family. You're going to have to decide which is more important, the kind of flight you take or the hotel you stay in. If you spend, you have limited budget, right? If you spend your money on first class or business class, and then you go stay in a very crappy one-star hotel,
Oh,
well,
that would not be good. You can't
well,
feel it.
I met someone that says to me that for her, the most important part of the fun part of traveling is actually when she's in the plane.
Huh.
I know it's again, each to his own, right?
And it,
Each to its own. Yeah. So for her, she might not care about the hotel, but that experience on the plane for her is huge. So that's how she's going to prioritize her spending. But for somebody else like you and I that will love to have a good sleep when we travel, I don't care if I'm flying whatever, no frills kind of flight. When I get there, I want comfort. Then I'm going to
mm.
prioritize my hotel, the choice of hotel versus, the airline.
You know, when
So many
you
examples. Yeah.
sorry, when you mentioned sleep, now my mind just brushed through self-care. Could we
Mm-hmm.
prioritize self-care too? Because I love my beauty sleep, but I don't get enough sleep during the week because I'm always wake up early, go to work, come back,
Mm-hmm.
do school runs and all that.
Yeah.
But I push all the sleep that I lose that I've lost during the week. I push it to weekend, and then I prioritize that sleep.
But all
Catch up on
that, you
sleep.
know what?
Mhm.
If I know people that think like me, they are calling BS right now. That all, what do you mean? This is mountain time, 5 a.m. You are here on a show, and you're telling me you're prioritizing sleep. I don't know what you're talking about. Except you want to say to me that you sleep at 7 p.m. on Friday to wake up at, I don't know, 4 a.m. on Saturday. I don't know what it is, but I know that even for self-care, like you're saying, I know we're joking about those things. We need to prioritize our sleep because especially if you know that if you don't sleep well, You're going to be grumpy when you wake up. If you're
Mm.
grumpy when you wake up, the entire day is dead on arrival, right? So you know where to put you better be sleeping well, because that's going to be the platform on which the following day is going to be built. If you want your day to be productive, then you're going to take care of that, Madam or Mr. Sleep, right?
Yeah.
So that is how we look at this thing. There are some people, I don't advise it, but there are people that can go on 4 hours sleep per day for months. At some point, you're going to burn out, but
Yeah.
each to his
I
own.
think at some point your brain will just shut down on you and you'll be like, oh my God.
Don't kill
Yeah.
me. They'll be like, brain will be like, Madam, don't kill me. Don't kill me.
Right.
I gotta rest, right? So
So
we're
another thing,
prioritizing.
yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, just chip in quickly that another thing that's coming to my mind when it comes to prioritizations, your relationships,
Mm-hmm.
your relationships.
Mm-hmm.
You have your kids. For those that are married, you have your spouses. For those that are single, you have your girlfriends. Or they're single. And I say they have girlfriends. Okay, single.
No. I know what you're trying to say. For the girls, you have your friends around you,
Yeah,
right? And then that
exactly. Yeah,
special
thank you.
someone,
You're right.
hopefully.
Exactly. And so if you don't prioritize based on the relationship, the extent of relationship you have with each person, if you don't prioritize how you spend time, how you nurture that relationship, you'll find that eventually you lose some important relationships in your life, and you don't
Oh
want
yeah.
that to happen. So
No.
prioritization again cuts
Yeah.
across to
Yeah,
relationship.
that's
Yeah.
really important. And talking about relationships, one that does not stop baffling me, Ola, you know
Yes,
me, I'm
yes,
gonna go hard
yes,
on
yes,
this one,
yes.
is okay, now you made that special person, you guys are planning to get married, yay! And I talk to young people. I'm like, okay, so what's gonna give? What's your budget for this wedding? They are looking at me, they are looking at each other. The husband typically scratches their head. I'm like, what? You don't have a budget? You don't get married, you don't have a budget. We have a budget. So I'm like, okay, so spit it out. What's the budget? How do you plan to spend this money? Right? Because there's so many things you want to do depending on the kind of wedding you want to have. Maybe we will start from there. You have
Mm,
500,000 naira, that's your budget for this wedding, or you have 50,000 naira, it doesn't matter.
mm,
You have to cut your coat according to your cloth and according to your goals.
mm,
So you have 500K, but your goal is once we start this, we're going to start a business. Once we get married, we're going to start a business. And that's all you have. Why spend all of that money on getting a big hall and inviting people to come and eat rice and they go? I read somewhere that okay, no, I'm not even going there. Anyway, you invite people to come and eat rice and then they're gone.
Don't shame. Yeah, go ahead.
And they're gone. And then yeah, you're married, but what about your goals?
Mm.
There's absolutely nothing wrong if you don't mind with having a quiet wedding and then saving that money for something else, right? Or maybe your goal is, I'm not even going, I mean, this is not about being frugal or even being pro, it's just about prioritizing. If your
Mm.
goal is as a couple, you want to travel the world, you have 2 million naira to invest in this wedding. I call it an investment. So, must you
Oh
spend
yeah,
it? Yeah. So, why not just do a tiny, beautiful, classy wedding and then spend the balance of the money for honeymoon traveling the world because that's your goal, right?
mm, but the social mirror, depending on the environment where our audience find themselves, the social mirror won't allow, it doesn't really allow people to do exactly what they want to do, right?
Because
Because generally,
we care too much.
yes, yes, what is this person gonna say? Or what is that person? Or what are people gonna say? That what are people
Yeah,
gonna say is really, really gets in our head every time and make us just do things irrationally, I call it actually. Yeah.
yeah, but you're right. That social mirror's got a very strong pull. It's got a very strong pull, right?
Mm.
Because imagine a couple that they're just trying to, pull things together. They're actually struggling, and you want to have a wedding. Okay, that's fine. And I'm like, look at, there's nothing wrong with you saying pastor should just come and because they are of the faith, your pastor should just bless you, go to the registry and call this done. And then on Sunday morning, you come to the church with Thanksgiving, and everybody knows you're not married. So when they see you wearing the same thing, nobody is thinking what's going on. They're like, no. They want to have a white wedding. They, in fact, would you believe that this particular couple, because I mean,
Mm.
when you're talking about wedding, you're thinking about the hall, the cake, the dress, the ivy, the food. And I'm like, okay, accommodation. The guy is still staying with his friends. And you guys want to go rent a hall for a wedding.
How do you marry this too, though? If I'm a lady and I've had in my mind, I've pictured in my mind that whenever I get married, when I get to that age of going to join another person and live together, I want a very classy wedding, and I have that picture in my mind. And that's, I don't have the resources for it, but I could stretch. I could stretch a little. Yeah, I know you're already giving me that. You're rolling your eyes. I could see it right now. I could stretch just to meet up with that dream, because every girl has a dream. Had a dream when we were little, when we
Trust
used to
me,
play. Yeah.
we all had a dream. The guy has to
Okay.
be tall, dark, and handsome and rich. Oh, how many of our spouses are tall, dark, handsome, and stinkingly rich?
They want to wear long wedding dress that is gorgeous with a veil that starts from the
Yeah.
end of the beginning of the church to the end of the church. I love it. I will love it. Yeah, and I don't want to take that away from anyone.
No,
KO, well,
we're not taking anything away from people. All we're saying is you've got to be reasonable.
okay,
When you have a dream, by the time you wake up to reality, you have to know what your reality is. If you want a classy white wedding, then go work for it before you get married. Why must you kill another human being that has decided to co-join with you and say, oh yeah, we must have a classy wedding, when the guy is still struggling, he doesn't even have a car. And then you get married after the wedding, what next?
true,
You're
true,
going to be jumping bikes and all of that.
true.
See, what about if we say this is what we have right now? This is the guy you got married to, madam, classy white wedding. Why didn't you go find somebody else that can sponsor that dream? But you found this guy, you believe in him, you're ready to stay with him. How about we have something tiny right now? How about we
Mm,
keep that dream in to do? Because on your 10th anniversary, you guys can make it amazing. You can have a destination. You can renew your vows.
absolutely,
So I'm not
absolutely.
saying throw away your dreams, because dreams are the things that are forces that drive us. Have that dream, sweetheart. Hold on to that dream. But this is reality on the one side. If you know you don't have enough to work to be able to achieve that your wedding dream, then let's keep it in a cooler. Let's
Mm,
keep working.
mm.
10-year wedding anniversary, let's go to Hawaii. Because by
Yeah.
now, you guys are already working hard, and I believe that things are working out for you. But right now, as of today, January 2024, this guy loves you to stupor. He wants to spend the rest of his life with you, but he doesn't have the means for the kind of wedding you want. And I dare say, you don't have the kind of money for the kind of wedding you want. So why must he be the one to sponsor and finance your dreams? The dreams are yours. Sweetheart, go work some more. I am a
Oh,
proponent of husband taking care of their wives, and you know
mm,
that. And
mm.
I feel I can say this because I'm a woman. Sometimes we have too much expectation and it's not just women alone, even men.
Mm.
You want your wife to be sweet 16 figure eight, and Mr. Man, your tummy is already bulging there.
Sweet 16, figure eight, but have three kids.
But have 3 kids.
Pump out three kids. Pump them out.
We've got to be realistic. And you that have not gone to the labor room once, you've not carried the baby in your tummy for 9 months. Your tummy is already here because
Okay.
you eat all of these things. So
Mm.
I'm trying. I mean, we've got to learn to be kind to each other and be realistic in our expectation. So, like you're saying, for the organizations, if we know that you remember you did say that sometimes they pull the stakeholders in.
Absolutely.
When we're talking about wedding and marriages, the key stakeholder is the husband and the wife. So you've got to be able to sit down and analyze your situation. You've got to be able to sit down. And if there is no honesty in that relationship, it's already dead at arrival. It's a stillbirth. Because if you cannot tell this girl that, sweetheart, I can't afford it. And I've heard girls say, yeah, my father. I say, go marry your father. Your father started from somewhere. Leave this guy, like my sons would say, let him cook.
Like that.
Grow together, work together. But we've got to put priority on where priority should be. If everything is important,
Mhm.
nothing is important. So every day in our lives, when we're looking at our lives, when we're making decisions, we've got to come from the angle of what is most beneficial to me? What would benefit me and my family on the long run? If it is, like we started off with, if it is acquiring a skill, it may be painful for the next 6 months. But guess what? By the end of 2024, that skill would have been yours. And your family will be in a better place. You will be in a better place for it. Right?
Absolutely.
If
Absolutely.
we just need to face life and go conquer. Let's prioritize. Right now, you're 25, you're 35, you're 45, you're 50, you're 75. It's of no consequence. What do you want? What is important to you?
Mhm.
When you know what is important to you, then you go chase after it. Sometimes you have to close your eyes to every other thing just to be able to achieve, right? But you have to. You have to. I mean, there are cases of people or women that you know that once you're pregnant, the first 3, 4 months, you can't do anything, right? But we still go ahead and get pregnant because you want a child. Or maybe you had one and you're thinking, oh, maybe the agreement is between you and your husband, let's have two. So you're prioritizing the second child or having a child over, because you know that for the next 4 months you can't do anything. But that it will pass. You're not going to be pregnant for the rest of your life. So, but right now it's important we go get it done, and then we come back to the next thing.
Okay, so guys, you've heard it all. In fact, we have beat the dead horse right now on prioritization. If you have I mean, I usually think that if you have the all the money in the world and all the time in the world, then prioritization will probably won't even come into place.
Ah,
But because we have limited resources, we have limited, of course, we're
time.
hoping to have unlimited wealth at some point. But for
Mm-hmm.
now, right? Because we have those funds, we have got to allocate them to the things that are important to us. And
Yeah,
of course, we
absolutely.
have already told you that we've talked about it, that importance is relative. So you got to decide, you got to choose,
Yeah.
or itemize what those importance are, and then go chase after it. All we talk about here is being intentional about your lives and applying those business analysis principles
Yeah.
to better your life, because that's what organizations do. Okay, so until next
No, no,
time, we're gonna
no.
call.
Before we go, Ola,
Okay.
remember we have a new class coming. We have a class coming up in February.
I
So
was
if business
jumping. I was like,
analysis, yeah. So let's take it easy. Cool. I know you want to go to class. We still have like 12 minutes before class. Anyway, we're
Mhm.
starting a new class February 17, I think. If business analysis
Mhm.
is one of your goals, this is the time to prioritize that desire. Come
I
to
love it.
class. DM us. Let's help you achieve. 10 weeks, you're done. Talking about acquiring skills, 10 weeks, you're done, and then you're ready for the next level of your life. So that this time next year, you know what's going to happen? You are going to be earning bigger. You are going to have a work life balance because with business analysis, you've got more opportunities, flexible work hours, higher pay, and life is just beautiful on this side of the divide. Guys, come over. Come
It is.
over.
And you increase your resources. And we're talking about money here, right? Your human capital. Let's put it that way.
Yep. Okay.
Right. Until next time, we encourage you to be intentional about your life and go get him.
Yep. See you on the next one.
Bye
Bye.
bye.